Okay, so it's 500 BC, and the Celtics set sail and make it to the mostly uninhabited Britain. There were natives there before, but most of them were dead by this point, so the Celtics just kind of took the island. Then the Romans came and they were like, hey, that's a pretty cool island you got there. So they began their conquest of Britain, and they actually made it pretty far before reaching a stalemate here, which established a difference between England and Scotland. Then the Roman Empire collapsed and the Anglo-Saxons took over and established the Kingdom of England before.
It's Viking time! The Danish Vikings sailed and raided English cities, eventually making giant settlements in Scotland and England, which made Britain evolve in complete anarchy.
The Viking attacks continued until Alfred the Great kicked them off the islands, and finally reunited England. The Kingdom of Wales was also established around this time, and had a short-lived monarch before England was like, hey, cut that out.
Wartime!
Then Alfred Red the Unready died without an heir to the throne, which caused the Battle of Hastings, which I already have a video on, but in a nutshell, Harold Godwins to take the throne despite William the Conqueror of Normandy and Harold the Viking from Norway being sure they would become king. So the Vikings tried to invade England, and that didn't go very well. Then William the Conqueror gave it a shot and won, starting a new royal dynasty and bringing Norman culture into Britain.
Now that's all well and good, but you may be thinking,
hey, that was a lot of English history. What's going on with Scotland?
well, up until 945, Scotland wasn't really a country per se, but more like a ton of semi-independent Celtic civilizations.
So, what happened in 945?
The English tried to invade, which made the Celtic unite in their hatred. Reminds you of something. Moving on, land disputes caused the English to begin invading France, and the 100-Year War breaks out. This may have also caused the Black Death to spread into Britain, killing a third of the population. Then, oh, what a surprise, another monarch dispute. Edward IV dies without an heir, which causes England to split into the House of York and the House of Lancaster. This was the War of the Roses, which, long story short, the House of York wins, then loses, then fuses via marriage into the Tudor dynasty. Then the Renaissance happened and art and culture goes wild. The Tudor dynasty ends and the Scottish House of Stuart takes over. Then Charles I was like, hey, England's in a ton of debt after getting into really useless wars, so we're gonna raise taxes on the poor, which caused the English Civil War. Reminds you of something. Moving on, Britain finds out there's land outside of Europe and is like, hey, let's go take a giant chunk of the world, starting the largest empire in history. Then Scotland was like, yeah, me too, and then failed, and then got into crippling debt, and then joined England to get rid of the debt. So now England and Scotland are one country. That's cool, I guess. Some Serbian dude cheats the King of Austria, and World War I begins. The economy tanks as the Great Depression reaches Britain. Then Germany tries to take over Europe, which causes the world to fall into World War II. After the war, stuff kinda calms down, but Britain's still pretty cool.
Then the English Civil War. What the hell is that?